my living room today because I have a little bit more space here and I will need it for the skirt of this dress. If you don't know what I'm doing right now, I started making a haute couture dress last week for no reason whatsoever other than that I want to challenge myself. It's the time of year where I like doing things like these, and I'm planning to make a huge T-length corseted sequined dress and a crinoline skirt, and it's just massive and it's going to be a lot of work. Last time I actually made the corset for the dress, so this is already completed. I have this here because I need to measure the actual circumference of the waist, because that's slightly different from my actual body circumference of the waist. I will need that measurement to do the math for the circle that I need to make this full circle skirt. So what we're talking about is a T-length. T-length means like ankle length-ish. Full circle skirt that comes in a crinoline skirt, so that's multiple layers of tulle. Then we have the Duchess satin layer and we have the sequin tulle layer, and there might even be a lining layer, which I still need to figure out. This is what we're doing today, so let's get started. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I have my corset here, and I'm now going to measure the actual circumference of the waist. First panel of the skirt, and as intended, it is massive and it is slightly too long, but that's with the hem included, so it's going to be a little shorter in the end. But that's the front panel so far. Let's move on to cutting the rest of the pieces. Just to give you an overview of what that means. A full circle skirt in that length, that's just half of it. Imagine that mirror to the other side over here. That's how big this is. Just as a reference, I am 1.80 meters tall. That's how big this is. So my sequins do have a direction, which is something that is a little difficult to suss out here, like how best to place the sequins onto my satin pieces. Okay, that is not big enough. Or I slightly changed the size of the skirt. So basically what I mean is I would maybe take it in to make it fit the size of the panel of the sequin. For me, in order to be able to place the sequin on top of these skirt panels and have them all face in one direction and not then at some point have them horizontal to the ground rather than vertical, I will have to take the skirt panel in just a little bit. I will try to create a continuous line and take 15 centimeters in here. Okay. Whew. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels that are the exact same size. Now they're slightly less than a full circle skirt. And now, hopefully, if I place the sequin on top here, I can have each panel have the sequins face down. That was the plan, and it worked out. Boom. Whew, I think I need a break. Now let's see how many panels I get out of this sequin tool. It's definitely not gonna be enough. Maybe I get out 2. Then I just have to buy more. So, like I predicted, I got about 2 panels out of the sequin tool that I had left, which means I need to get more. I just had lunch, I'm gonna have a coffee break now, and then I'm gonna grab some more fabric, come back and continue. So, seems like they sold me some faulty yardage. What is this? What is this? This is, I think, some interfacing that they failed to remove, whoever produced this, somewhere on the other side of the world, probably. And now I will have to try and see if I can remove this. Okay, I have to do this vertically, otherwise you won't see what I'm doing here. So this is the first skirt panel done. I have now I have now hand basted the sequin tool onto the Duchess satin. Now it looks great. I'm really happy with it. It was a lot of work. This took me about 1 hour and I have 3 more to go. The only concern at the moment is that the fabric clings onto itself, so I'm not sure how easy this is going to be when I wear it. I mean, I do have the crinoline skirt planned underneath, so it's going to flare out the skirt more, which kind of like keeps it from touching itself, if that makes any sense. But this is how far we are, and now I have to do 3 more. It is now 2:30 in the afternoon, so this is gonna take me the rest of the day, really. And I will check back in with you once I'm done with that. Okay, it is almost 5:30 now. I still have 1 more panel to go, and then I'm done because I'm fried. I'm completely done. The chair is full of sequined skirt panels, and they're not even sewn together. They're just like the sequin tool layer on the Duchess satin layer. There's no actual skirt yet, just panels, and it took me a whole day.
In our home. So now to see this cottage come to life. It's gorgeous, it's inviting, it's welcoming. I cannot wait for the first guests to arrive.
From 2002 to 2020, estimated revenue for periodical publishing, which includes magazines, fell by 40.5%. For superficial.
Hey,
Hi.
For looking at shape and cherry.
what's going on? Yeah.
Hard work. Hi. A few days have passed since I cut all of my skirt panels. How to proceed to explain to you what happened. I basted the pieces together, and then I actually also went ahead and gave this a few stitches on my machine, just like a couple of rows down, to continue to merge together these 2 layers. And then I sewed my first seam of the skirt, and this is what we look like right now. It's not 1 layer, obviously, because it's 2, and I don't like the look of this. I would want this to be more cohesive, because this way it feels like it's bubbling up in some places because the seams didn't sew together the sequin tool and the Duchess satin perfectly flat. So we do have a few like bubbling moments around, which I really don't like that much. Also, the sequins just continue to get caught on themselves, which makes this a really not so great wearing experience. Where does that leave us? I just undertook a test with some lining material and the sequins and some fusible interfacing, and I fused the sequins onto the lining, which now sort of looks like this. I did 2 swatches because I wanted to see if I put them together like this, are they easy to separate? And they seem to be, because with the other fabric it just completely gets caught on itself, and this is less the case here. That means I need to separate all of my layers again, which with the majority of them isn't too hard because it's just hand basted, so I should be able to remove those stitches relatively quickly. Those 2 layers that I took to my machine, I deeply regret because this is going to take a long time to separate. I will go and buy some black fusible interfacing and just straight up fuse the sequins to the skirt panels. Cue the montage of sporadic sewing over the next couple of days. So here are my 4 skirt panel piles, 2 layers each. That was actually not that bad. Sunshine. I think it took me about half an hour now to separate them. I thought this was gonna be way worse. It was okay. So now I'm gonna take a lunch break, then I go run some errands, and on my way back I'll grab some fusible interfacing, and then I will have to create the operation fusing here on my bed because you know, first of all, I don't have an ironing board. That's a confession I didn't think I was going to make. I don't have an ironing board, and I also don't have enough floor space. So I'm gonna remove my bedding, put some towels down because those panels, those skirt panels are very big, and then I'm gonna fuse them on my bed. I think that's the plan. Today was a pretty successful day, relatively speaking. I definitely noticed while interfacing all of my panels, which was back-breaking work, literally, that the quality of the sequin tool was deteriorating with every batch of it that I purchased. You might remember in the beginning of this video or this series, I don't know where we're at right now in using this, but I at some point mentioned that I bought the sequin tool initially for another project back in December, and that batch was the nicest one because the elongated sequins went down in pinstripes, which is how the fabric is intended to be. The second batch was also fine, but the third batch that I purchased was definitely an off-cut or a faulty yardage because the sequins went all over the place. Those are the panels that cling to each other the most because the sequins are just convoluted and messy. The ones where the sequins go down in pinstripes are actually fine. So for me, that means I'm going to put those panels in the back of the dress just to try and hide them as best as I can. That's my plan now. It's Friday evening. I'm done for today. I will see you soon. Am I here for this skirt or what? Look at it. It's gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I am officially obsessed. Attaching the last skirt panel. Hello. It is Monday. I have already spent multiple hours continuing to work on this skirt. So what you've seen me do is on Friday, I interfaced the two layers together. So that worked brilliantly. However, I wanted to future-proof all of the panels. So I took each panel to my machine and top stitched multiple columns of stitches down each panel to kind of like give it more security. So if in, say, I don't know, 10 years time, if I still have that dress at that point, the fusible interfacing somehow disintegrates, falls to dust, I don't know, there will still be these columns of stitches that will hold the sequin tool down and have it attached to the Duchess satin. That's kind of what it is. It was a little bit like doing a, what's it called? One of those blankets. Hold on. A quilt. Yes, that's what it was like quilting. Following that, I sewed together all of my skirt panels, so now I have a full skirt, as you just saw me wear. And it looks really good. I'm really excited about it. I am going to use the skirt as a template for, first of all, my lining skirt. So I will have to cut some lining for this just because I want to make sure it's beautiful on the inside all the way through and it's comfortable. So lining it is. And then I will also use the main skirt as a template for the crinoline skirt, which is the next thing I'll start working on. Wish me luck, I guess. Is the shape of the underskirt, and this is where we're gonna put our ruffled layers of tulle on. I like it already. Look how structural this is. It's really architectural. This is what we want. So this remaining crinoline, this remaining crinoline tool that I have here, I am folding into 3 equal sections now. I folded this in half now, and now I'll give it another fold. Right in the middle, like this. It's not as easy as it sounds. Now I cut the layers on both sides. Okay, now I should have 3 sort of equal, 4 even, right? 4 equal sized strips of fabric. These are going to be the first ruffles that I will attach to my half circle skirts right here to make it longer. First of all, that's what I want to do with this rough crinoline, and then I have my more fine tulle, this one here, which I'm going to use to do the additional layers to build up the volume that we're looking for. So this is going to take a while. Just to explain to you the principle of what I'm going to do, each of these strips here is going to get a basting stitch or 2 at one edge, like this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. This way I can ruffle it up, and then I will pin it to my circle skirt, which is the base for this crinoline skirt, and I will continue doing this to build the volume. And because this is going to take a long time, I will speed this up for you. It is currently 9 a.m. on a Tuesday for me. I'm not entirely sure how many day this is that I'm working on this project. Must be day 5 or 6, I think, which is perfectly fine. Today we will continue on the crinoline skirt. Yesterday I was able to kind of like build the base for it, and now we're gonna fill it up with ruffled layers of tulle. So let's go. Did it. The crinoline skirt is done, which is an exciting moment because that means that all of the major pieces of the dress are completed. The corset is completed, the overskirt is completed, and the crinoline skirt is completed, which means we can put all of those elements together. Right, so the next thing is to quickly cut the lining layer. That one I'm gonna make a little shorter than the main skirt. I really just want it about knee length. I'm also not gonna give it the full circle circumference because I actually feel like that might be a little uncomfortable. I'll keep it a little smaller, more like an A-line skirt. And then we can put all of those things together. So let's go. Okay, that was completely and totally unnecessary because I just broke the needle on my serger, and I will have to figure out how to change it at a later point, meaning we will continue this project without using the serger, hopefully, or at least not immediately. We prepare our pieces to be joined together in a different way. First of all, I'm gonna measure this incision that I made here in my main skirt, which is where corset lacing is gonna go in. So I need to mimic the same length on both my crinoline skirt as well as my lining skirt, so 31 centimeters. That's how far all of those layers have to be open. So I'm now going to close the center back seams of those other 2 layers before I can join them together. Okay, so the first thing I will do is to sew together my crinoline and my line and my shell skirt. So I will simply put that over. Conveniently, my crinoline skirt just stands straight up. Now I'll take it to my table where I will hopefully be able to sort this out. I simply have to try and pin the waist together. For that, it would be good to know where my center back and center front is. I'm gonna start with the center front as per usual. That's what we do when we join 2 things together. I'm not quite sure I even understand how big this project is. It is massive, it is huge. So I made something similar-ish to this a couple years ago when I first started the series, but it was a mini dress, so by far there wasn't as much fabric to work with. I got a comment actually on my last video, which now will have been the one before my last video, because this is definitely a two-parter, as we know. I teased this project and somebody asked me if I was going to make a wedding dress, because I said it was going to be a huge project with a lot of fabric involved. Good guess, but no. But this is definitely in the same ballpark. If this was white, if this fabric was white, you know, not much of a difference between a wedding dress and this, to be honest, except maybe the pressure that you would put on yourself if you were to make a wedding dress. This does not have that pressure attached. I'm now going to fuse the first two layers together, which is the crinoline skirt and the shell skirt. It just freaking stands on its own. The next step to completion is to attach the lining skirt to the lining of the bodice that I have already prepared. Right, so we have the crinoline skirt and the shell skirt sewn together, and we have the corset and the lining skirt sewn together. This has the whole lining completed basically, and now I need to attach the crinoline slash shell skirt to this raw edge here of the corset. I can't believe we're at this stage. So this is actually really not that easy because this is huge and my desk is not big enough. So I am going to try and do this off my desk.
Jesus, this is insane. This is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
Okay, yeah, I mean, all I can do is sew it attached, I think. Okay, look, you have to stand here and I swing this your way. Can you hold it? Okay, so the thing is I need to move it, right, and turn it. Can you just help me manipulate it? Okay.
Said the girl who wished for a smaller table.
Take a smidge longer. This is insane. Okay, it's so heavy. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is gonna be so good. I feel like a princess already. This is crazy. Right, so while it may seem like I'm already done, I'm not. There's still so much more to do here. How to do this? I'm gonna pull out the lining and fold it over so it's covering the right side of my dress. I find the center back of the lining and I line it with the center back of my dress and I start pinning things together. This is a lot of work, not gonna lie. Okay, so when I now turn this back around, we have a relatively clean closure here. Now I need to repeat the same thing on the other side. Good morning. Today might be the last day of me working on this dress. I'm actually a bit emotional. I don't want to say goodbye. Yes, I do. I do want to say goodbye. What we need to do is we need to finish the back closure, aka the corset closure and the hem. For the corset closure, I have a plan. Let me show you. Okay, so I've got a couple of supplies here. I don't have any more Duchess satin anymore. I don't know how that happened. I think I accidentally threw away my scraps, but I have lining, I have some of the sequin tulle, I have black interfacing and a little bit stronger transparent. It looks white, but it's transparent interfacing. I have black rust-proof, apparently, brass eyelets. Well, they're not entirely black, but they're black enough. And then I chose this, this is about 1/2 centimeter velvet ribbon right here, this haberdashery as my lacing in the back. Now, The idea is as follows. This is approximately what our back looks like at the moment. We have a pretty pronounced gap and we have the opening in the skirt, right? You feel me? Now, all of this is already finished. There's no raw edges anymore. What we need is a, oh my God, I still don't know what it's called. Wait. Modesty panel. Yes, that's it. Modesty panel. That is what we need. So this is going to sit behind this opening here and it's going to hide away our open back. It's really just attached on one side here. This is where it's attached. So basically when you put the dress on, you kind of fold the two back sides over the modesty panel. What we also need is two panels that sit about here. All of this is on the inside naturally. You don't see any of this on the outside, where our eyelets are gonna be. So these eyelets are where we can lace the thingy through, and then when we pull it, we're gonna be snatched in. So that's the system that we're trying to create. So I've just tried on the dress and took some rough measurements so I know exactly how tall and how wide this modesty panel needs to be. Okay, so what I've just done here is I've created a trapezoid shape that I know for sure will cover the opening in my back. I obviously made it a little bit bigger just to be sure because we don't want any skin to show, and it's better we have some overlapping layers rather than skin showing. So up here you can imagine that is the neckline, this is the waist, and this is down where the opening in the back ends. And this is going to cover our backs. Alright, so here we have our modesty panel completed. It is not super stiff, but it is definitely more structural than the rest of the dress. But I still want this to, you know, be able to mold itself onto the body because otherwise I'm afraid this would be quite uncomfortable. So this is where we are at. Now we can continue with the eyelet strips, I guess. What the heck is happening? This just broke. Like, shouldn't this be sturdy enough for me to hammer it? That's the purpose of it. Okay, an hour later we have two straps which we can attach to the dress for the lacing in the back. Am I happy with them? They could have turned out better once when I lined this. They are totally not even. This one turned out well. That's the one that I'm happy with. This one is a hot mess. I realized halfway through making my holes that they didn't match up. I don't know why exactly. So I had to readjust. So this section kind of matches up. This is a hot mess. And then this matches up. But I don't think it really matters. What matters is that I have holes on both sides so I can pull the dress together. That doesn't work. I'm so done. I'm so done with this. I just spent the whole day hand sewing and my boyfriend is walking in on me recording. I just spent the whole day hand sewing. I did the whole corset closure in the back by hand. My fingers are actually swollen now, but that worked out fine. The back is done. The modesty panel just needs to be attached with a few stitches and then that's good, which is great. I now thought I'm gonna quickly do the hem because I want to have this over with, but for the second time today my needle on my serger broke. Now with the second needle breaking, I'm taking that as a sign to call it quits for today. I'm done. Which means that tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be the last day of me working on this. I'm going to attach the modesty panel. I'm going to somehow do the hem, apparently not with my serger because the fabric continues to break a needle, so I will have to find a different way of solving that problem. And then maybe, hopefully, we're done. Today is the day where we gonna finish this dress. No. Look, I can't be stubborn, I know. I just don't understand why I was able to search the seams in my corset, but I cannot search the hem, which has 2 less layers. I just don't understand. What is the difference? If anything, it should be easier. So I'm a little bit annoyed that I cannot search my hem, because this would just be so much cleaner. But no, I just broke about 4 needles, including the ones from yesterday. So I will give up on this idea, reluctantly.
Imagine sun shining, pink clouds in the sky, and everything is right. Imagine stars lighting up the night, and a shooting star so vibrant, you have to make a wish. Nothing's ever in your way, scoring every shot you make. No, you've never heard of pain, because you're just high on life. Every day is Saturday. Life is sweet as birthday cake. Why can't it just stay this way? Like you wanted to, like you wanted to, like 24/7, like 24/24 heaven. Oh, like you wanted to, like you wanted to, like 24/7, like 24/24 heaven. Oh, nothing but blue skies, a totally peaceful mind. Never need a second try. No, you get it right the very first time. It could be the best of days, it could be the best of times. Why do we need the troubles? Why? Why do we need the troubles? Why? Nothing's ever in your way, scoring every shot you make. No, you've never heard of pain, because you're just high on life.
Alright, so I just finished shooting this dress. I feel like a princess. A very uncomfortable princess. I'm gonna say that right away. This dress is not comfortable whatsoever. But then again, I don't think this is a requirement of haute couture. Is it ever really comfortable? Very few, probably. You might be able to tell that my skin is really quite upset with the sequins that are sticking out of the dress. So yeah, it's not a dress for somebody who has skin issues, for sure. But that doesn't diminish the beauty of it, I feel like. With the styling, I went a bit 60s because I felt like the silhouette of the dress kind of like gave that vibe. I really want to hear all of your thoughts about this whole like series that we've just gone through, those 2 videos. I want to know what you like about the dress, what you don't like about the dress. If you feel like you've learned something watching me go through this process, is there something you feel like I could have done better, or are there tips that you can give me? This is not the first time that I have made a dress with this construction principle, as in like there's a corsage and there's a underskirt and there's an overskirt and those things, but definitely the first time that I made something on this magnitude, with the amount of fabric, with the length of the skirt, with the volume. I really went out of my comfort zone with this, I feel like, and I'm glad I did, because I feel I learned a lot. I enjoyed it so much that maybe I want to do another dress like this sometime in the near future, maybe with a completely different type of vibe about it. Maybe there's a summer version of this that I could make, because I don't think that this is something that you would necessarily wear in the warmer seasons. So maybe there's like an organza version or something that I could make. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing a dress like that. And with that, there's nothing left for me to say except thank you for letting me be a part of your day, and I hope I see you next time. Bye!